Welcome back to Game 2 of today's doubleheader between Cleveland State and Volunteer State. VolState won Game 1 10-0. As the Lady Pioneers take the field. Just getting to the lineup here, so you're going to see it and know it when I know it. It's like Caitlin Dillard is out in left field, Abby Merle in center, Kirsten Smith back out in right field. Shinton on the left side at third base, Mally Grizzle at short, Alyssa Dixon at second, Maddie Goad at first, and back behind the plate, catching Mia Harper is KJ Irwin. Harper, the tall Texan. Another transfer. She came from Bossier Parish Community College. Went to Lufkin High School. That's down in Angelina County. She's from Lufkin, Texas. She'll face Giselle Tankersley, Milan Pemberton, and Lily Griffiths to begin the first here in Game 2. First pitch misses a bit up, and we are underway. 3:24 Central Time. Ground ball to the left side in the hole. Grizzle steps and throws and gets Tankersley by a couple steps. Nice play there by Mally. Strong arm as she's been feeling a little bit of pain. Apparently we're having some instruction here out on the mound. Game time temperature 82 degrees. And it's not a mound. Out in the circle on the rubber. As Milan Pemberton, the center fielder, stands in. Tankersley is in the circle for Cleveland State here in Game 2. Tankersley's 19th appearance pitching this year. Pemberton also a left-handed batter. Squares around the bunt. Pitch called a strike by our home plate umpire, Hunter Cruz. Pemberton was 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout in Game 1. Toyota Gallatin scoreboard showing the incorrect balls and strikes. Swing and a foul tip at the plate. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. They're still carrying over the count from Giselle Tankersley's at bat. A little bit of breeze coming out of the southwest at about 7 miles an hour, causing the U.S. flag out in dead center field to go straight away from home plate, heading toward the VolState campus. We're on the western portion of the VolState campus. Swing and a miss. Well, apparently I didn't have the count right either, but that's a strikeout. It showed full count on the scoreboard, but I didn't think that many pitches had been thrown. First strikeout of the game for Harper. Get you her statistical accomplishments as she's going to face the DP. You know what? They are not going according. This is a different. Okay, I'm absolutely confused here. This is Pemberton here. They're only showing 1 out up on the scoreboard. 0-2 pitch. Tapper. Nope. Swing and a miss down to first is going to go Pemberton. And now Griffiths. Oh, I know what happened. Something happened. Tankersley. Okay. So the ground out did not happen. Tankersley strikes out. So apparently there was an issue regarding a pitch. And now Griffiths comes to the plate. She swings and misses. So Pemberton strikes out, but reaches on, let's see if it's a wild pitch or maybe a pass ball. One out, pitched low and inside. It almost looked like a foul ball off the bat, but all right, I think I got it squared away. One out. Now a 1-2 count to the DP. Lily Griffiths, she was 0 for 2 in game one. Ground out and a fly out. 1-2 pitch. That's another swing and another ball that gets away from Irwin. That's 3 strikeouts in the inning. Still only 1 out. The batter is out. That's right, because you have an occupied base. Runner moves up. Okay. So strikeout number 3, out number 2. Pemberton moves down to second base. That'll bring up Jayla Young. A lot happening here early in game 2. Thought we were going to get a chance for 5 strikeouts in an inning, which I've never seen. I've seen 4 strikeouts in an inning, but not 5. Harper dots the outside corner. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Jayla Young, one of the 3 hits in game 1 for Cleveland State. There's another called strike. I got my researcher, I got my analyst, data analyst, research analyst. Got him on the hook. Johnny Lynn, former head softball coach, now the head men's basketball coach. Had a little conversation, gave me some good news in between games. I'll share it with you here momentarily. 2 balls, 2 strikes, but he gave me the 4-1-1 on the first batter. That's what happened. Giselle Tankersley received an illegal pitch. That's why base umpire Joseph Baldwin went over and talked to Mia Harper, probably assumed that her foot was too far forward of the pitcher's rubber, and that's why I was confused on the count. But we have a full count, Ministries. Full count here. Ground ball foul, heads up Alyssa Costley, sitting in the number 1 seat, the third base dugout. Johnny Lynn told me that Chattanooga State was defeated in game 1 of the Roan State doubleheader at Roan, I believe, 5-4. So that puts Chattanooga State at 4 losses. VolState only at 3. Another Tapper foul. So if VolState can take care of business against Jackson State on Sunday and remain at 3 losses, then they would be the undisputed winner of the conference. With only 3 losses, they would have 27 wins and would nail down that number 1 spot. Ground ball just fouled on the third base line. Dillard will dig it out of the corner. So that's definitely good news. Appreciate Dave Lane, the athletic director of Roan State, being a source of information for our roving reporter, Bobby Hudson. And I noticed between games that Kimberly Lynn is being utilized down in the concession stand. Another ball fouled out of play. Telling you, the Lins are giving them their all for VolState Pioneers. Johnny, 30 years as a softball coach, over 1,000 wins. He's a TCCAA Hall of Famer. Now just finished his third year as the head men's basketball coach. Ball 4. Puts runners at first and second. That's the first non-strikeout of the game. That brings up Miley Howard, who was 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout in game 1. Runners at first and second. Harper has struck out 3 in the inning. 1 reached on the wild pitch. A 2.05 ERA on the season in 58 innings. That is good for 6th in the conference. Struggling a bit with control here in the first. And that will bring Alyssa Costley out of the dugout. They have a chat with Harper, the sophomore transfer, 6 foot tall. She's the daughter of Trey and Jamie Moore, sister to Braden, Tate, and Ashton. Poppy and Nene are in Lufkin, as are Paul and Nana. Paul, also known as, I assume this is right, Don Dillard. Or Donnie Dillard, I'm assuming is what his family calls him. He's got a brother, Ronnie, who's also checked in previous games. Don has checked in today. He's watching down in East Texas, south of Tyler, north of Houston. Lufkin, Texas, just north of Nacogdoches, Texas. Is that the oldest city in Texas, Nacogdoches? I think is their claim. A 2-0 right down Broadway for a called strike. Harper, 19 games a year ago at Bossier Parish. That's in Shreveport, Louisiana. 2-1. Round to the right side. Dixon charges, and she gets run over by Jayla Young. That'll be runner interference. And Howard is out. Dixon went to field the ball, and she was creamed. Young apparently did not see her coming up to try to make that play. And honestly, I don't know how it's probably a fielder's choice. And Young is out for unassisted. It's my final answer. That's what I'm going with. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 runners left on base heading to the bottom of the first. Just getting started here in game number 2. Moving to the bottom of the first, Abby Merle, Mally Grizzle, Maddie Goad to face Giselle Tankersley. Infield drawn in. There's a called strike to Merle. Merle hitting the 6th spot in game 1. Went 1 for 2 on my score sheet. My score sheet's going to probably look a little different than the game changer box score. They were pretty tough on the VolState hitters in that game. A half swing poke by Merle fouled down off the third base dugout. Another foul ball. Nope, I was right. Scoreboard showed 2-2. The umpire, I thought, looked at it. Didn't make a correction. Now he has 1 ball, 2 strikes. Make it a 2-2 count now. Toyota Gallatin scoreboard shows a full count. Not yet. Merle way away from the plate. Heads up, Wes. Nearly hit Wes Buckner, the second-year manager, right in the dome. Count remains 2-2. Now it's a full count, Ministries. Full count. Swing and a miss. Merle down on strikes. Giselle Tankersley, who's reared back and fired a fastball in there. That'll bring up Mally Grizzle. Grizzle 2 for 3 on my score sheet. She had a home run, a double. Scored twice, drove in a run, swings at the first pitch here, pops it out to right field. Perry still going back, and she has that one go off of her glove. Grizzle's not stopping at second. She's into third base with a stand-up triple. Perry struggling with the sun again. And let's see how, just for grins and giggles, see how that one got scored. Brings up Maddie Goad. Maddie was 1 for 3, swings at the first pitch and misses. They did count that as an error on Game Changer. I don't know if I vehemently, but I do disagree. Popped up and out of play, a Chick-fil-A at Gallatin, foul ball. Perry's going back. She was actually on the warning track, still running, going back. And that was not a routine fly ball by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't think it's a gift. I think it's an earned triple. The ball just kept going. It was not hit especially hard, but as I said, the ball just kept traveling. 1-2 count. Popped up out to center field. Milan Pemberton is going to be catching it going away from home plate. That'll be a sacrifice fly for Maddie Goad. And there's the Framework Athletics first run of the game, driven in by Goad. Now 2 outs. Brings up Maddie Shinton. Shinton was also 2 for 3 in game 1. She had a couple of singles and a ground out, scored a run. Did not drive in a run. Not one of those 10 was driven in by Maddie Shinton. Goad had 2, so she's taken over the team lead now with 66 RBIs. Shinton sitting with 64. She clearly is in scoring position when she comes to the plate. Second in the conference in home runs. She's got 19 big flies. Also second in doubles. She's got 16 of those. That gets out of here, but it's gone the wrong way. She takes a hack at the 2-0 pitch. And a Chick-fil-A Gallatin foul ball. Here's what we don't need. We don't need Shinton pulling one down that left field line and yanking it into the freshly poured concrete. The line just went out to center field. Pemberton can't get to it. It gets to the fence. Shinton's going to drop the anchor for a do-dat double. 2 out. Knock for Shinton. She's had a couple of those today. Come on, Wes. Don't give her an error on that one. Oh, it's not Wes doing it. Don't tell me Caitlin Davis is our... No, it is Wes. He's got the phone in his hand. Nia Dawson stands at a plate. She's the DP again. Looks at a pitch outside corner. My score sheet, 2 hits in the inning. Chick-fil-A Gallatin foul ball. Dawson down in the count 0-2. Anaya was 1 for 2 in game 1. She had a triple, drove in a run in the first, struck out looking, and then later walked. On deck, Alyssa Dixon. Good eye there by the freshman from Donaldson Christian Academy. If you're a fan of comedy, Nate Bargatze attended Donaldson Christian Academy. He also famously has said that he was a student at a community college nearby. It was VolState. Said he did not earn a credit here. 2-2 fouled off that. We'll get off of the third base dugout roof. If you haven't listened to Nate Bargatze, you need to get on YouTube and listen to him. Good, clean comedy. He is the big-time comedian now. He's everywhere. Game shows, movies. It's not a paid advertisement. I just think he's hilarious. Full count ministries, full count. Nia Dawson, 2 outs and a runner at second, as she does not offer. They want to check with the base umpire, and Joseph Baldwin says no, she did not go. Ball 4 puts Dawson on first. First walk by Giselle Tankersley. That'll bring up left-handed hitting Alyssa Dixon. She was 1 for 4 in game 1. Takes a called strike. Tankersley's 19th appearance of the year. She's got a 5.92 ERA. Came in with 62 and 2/3 innings. Allowed 101 hits. VolState, the top hitting team in the conference. Licking their chops. Scored 1 in the inning. Looking to add on, and Tankersley now with a 2-ball-1-strike count. Sierra Howard got the start in game 1. She lasted 2 innings. Savannah Bennett came in for her 12th appearance. Whoops. J. I hit J on this computer and nothing happens. I hope. J's right next to K. And that was a strike. 2-2 pitch. Line in the left field. It's going to get down at the feet. Shinton rounds third. The throw is not in time. That'll be a single and an RBI for Alyssa Dixon. And VolState leads 2-0. A 2-out knock for Dixon. Emily Holcomb is the left fielder. Dixon moves to second on the throw. It basically takes a stolen base away from her. Dawson moves over to third. Shinton comes in to score. And it brings up KJ Irwin. Strike called to KJ. Irwin was 2 for 2 on base all 3 times she came to the plate. Drove in 2 runs, scored 1, also drew a walk. Tankersley's 0-1 misses low and away. 2 more runners in scoring position for the Lady Pioneers, who scored 4 in the first inning of Game 1. Won 10-1 in Game 1. This, again, is not a conference game with regard to standings. So VolState has lost 3 in conference play. Chattanooga State lost their 4th in conference play in Game 1 against Roan State, which is Chattanooga's last conference games of the year. Roan State chat today, and then they play Pellissippi at the end of the week. Roan State sitting in 5th place currently. 2-2 pitch, fouled out of play. Chick-fil-A of Gallatin foul ball. Chick-fil-A's got the best sweet tea I've ever had. My waistline shows it. I attribute all of it to Chick-fil-A sweet tea. Popped up in the left side. Holcomb comes on, and she makes the one-handed grab for out number 3. VolState puts 2 on the board. 3 hits. No errors on my score sheet. 2 runners left aboard after 1. VolState leads 2-0. You're watching and listening to the VolState Sports Network. Mia Harper out in the circle to face 6, 7, and 8 for Cleveland State. Ella Blancett, Heidi Johnson, Sloan Watson scheduled to appear here in the top of the 2nd. Harper's first pitch in there on the corner for a called strike. That one backs Blancett off the plate. Lady Pioneers 20th in the country in Division I JUCO. Fly ball at the right field. Kirsten Smith with the sunglasses on, looking up into the sky, makes the catch for out number 1. Heidi Johnson, the shortstop, steps in. Harper last appeared at Columbia State, got the start and the win, 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and a 13-4 victory for VolState. Couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. That was back on April 14th. Prior to that, April 8th at Southwest. So this is first time in a little while that she's appeared here at home. Matter of fact, last time she appeared at home was against Dyersburg State on March 26th. She had at Jackson State, at Southwest, and at Columbia State. Heidi Johnson just over the glove of Alyssa Dixon. That will roll all the way to the fence. And Johnson picks up the 1-out double. First hit of the game for Cleveland State. It's their first extra base hit of the day. Heidi, a 5'7" sophomore from Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. Sloan Watson, the first baseman, stands in. Sloan was 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout in game 1. Takes a called strike that winks at the inside corner. So 1 out and a runner at second for the Lady Cougars. The fighting Richard Murray's, he might be listening in on the VolState Sports Network. He's a big dog over there at Cleveland, Bradley County. Tapper backwards. Watson fought that one off. Emily Holcomb in the on-deck area waiting for her first plate appearance of the day. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. Make it a full count. Ministries full count. Full count. Ministries allowing the use of their cameras to be used. I used them in the summer as a broadcaster for the Full Count Rhythm Summer Collegiate Baseball team and bring them over here to VolState. Just down. Watson draws her second walk of the day. Runners now at first and second. Second walk of the game by Harper, who comes in with 33 walks in 58 innings. Picked up 3 strikeouts in the first. One of those reached on a wild pitch. Strike 2, Holcomb, the left-handed hitter. Where's the number 1? 5'8" freshman from Ringgold, Georgia. Shinton is crashing from third base. Grizzle is running to third to cover in case Johnson thinks about trying to steal. KJ Irwin will go out and have a chat with Harper. Cleveland State is last in the conference in batting average with a .252 team batting average. Maybe what KJ's talking about is let's Let's make him hit the ball. And an unsuccessful circle visit did not result in a strike. Our first broadcast partner, Zach Williams, said he kept track of that. 2-1 pitch. That's a pop-up foul, but it will get down before Matty Shinton or KJ Irwin can get over to it. If you want to join the show, send an email to treesports@gmail.com. Give you a shout out. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. Johnny Lynn knows the back line to the broadcaster. He doesn't send emails. He just texts or calls. Swing and a miss. Holcomb down on strikes. As I now update my scorebug to show the proper count on the batter. 4th strikeout for Harper. And now 2 out. Back to the top of the lineup, the pitcher Giselle Tankersley trying to help herself out. Lines one toward third base head coach Haley Carroll, who hops out of the way of that one. Yeah, John Thomas, Noah Stockey didn't come back up to the press box, so if you told him I was going to interview him, he got scared. 0-1 misses away. John Thomas Lynn is the oldest son of Johnny and Kimberly Lynn, the older brother to Christian Lynn, the head coach for VolState. Throw down to first. They got her picked. Goad over to Dixon. They got Watson, and a tag out before the run scores will end the inning. No runs, as the final out is recorded on a pickoff. So Tankersley will lead off the third. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner was left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the second. VolState leads 2-0. New left fielder for Cleveland State, Savannah Bennett, in for Emily Holcomb. Kirsten Smith, Caitlin Dillard, and Abby Merle to face Giselle Tankersley here in the bottom of the second. First pitch to Smith misses. Late arriving to the first base coach's box, that's Alyssa Costley. Fly ball out to center field. Back goes Pemberton, and this is going to leave the yard. Kirsten Smith. Picks up her first home run. We'll have to check. It may be her first collegiate home run. It's her first of the year. Gives VolState the 3-0 lead. Let's see if she got any last year as a freshman. She did not. That is her first collegiate home run. Congratulations to Kirsten Smith. A solo home run as Caitlin Dillard stands in. She hit that one to just to the right of dead center. Fourth hit of the game for VolState. They have the cycle on my score sheet. Single, double, triple, and a home run. Caitlin Dillard, a sophomore. She was 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs in game 1. Scored a run as well. So these Tankersley's offering go high. So Savannah Bennett, the new left fielder. Pemberton still in center field. Layla Perry still in right. Young and Johnson on the left side of the infield. Howard and Watson on the right side for Cleveland State. Blancett still behind the plate. 1 run in, 1 runner on. Abby Merle steps up to throw down the bunt, the tag, and they get Dillard. She is erased 2-6, caught stealing for out number 1. Good throw by Blancett. Swing and a miss. Merle struck out in her first at-bat. She's now down in the count 0-2. Merle leading off here in game 2. Batted in the 6-hole. She and Dixon flip-flopped here for between game 1 and 2. Merle's 1 for 2 in game 1. But the strikeout makes it 1 for 3, so 367 goes down by a scooch. Well, fun fact, she's been hit the most of any Lady Pioneer. She's 1 ahead of Alyssa Dixon. She's got 6 plunkings. Full Count Ministries, full count to Abby Merle. You talk to her, you're going to get a smile. She was, every time I've talked to her, she's got a big old smile on her face. She uses it well. That's just over the head of the shortstop. It's going to land in the green. Savannah Bennett is going to get an opportunity to field it and throw it back in the infield. Every batter has reached here in the second. One, Caitlin Dillard was caught stealing. It's a little flare single for Merle. She's now 1 for 2. 367 batting average. Back up. Another throw down, and they're not going to get Abby. She picks up her 3rd stolen bag of the day. There's no hiding it. There's no disguising it. Abby Merle gets on base. She and Alyssa Dixon, they're gone on the first pitch. Pitch out if you want. Grizzle tripled to right center field. I think Game Changer may have called it an error. Can't remember if that's the one that was called an error or not. I believe it was. Don't remember it showing triple. Swinging a foul tip into the mitt. See Abby Merle out there probably just at the top of the screen, and she's pointing one way or the other, either inside or out, as to where the pitch is called by the catcher. She's pointing outside here. That's a shot gloved by Johnson at short. That ball was stung. Johnson throws over to Watson for out number 2. Pitch did not go outside as Merle had indicated it was supposed to, but Grizzle was all over it. Maddie Goad at the plate with a runner at third again. That's where she found herself in the first. Delivered a sacrifice fly to drive in Grizzle. Fly ball won't get it done this time. There's 2 outs. And she pops up again. Got jammed. Pemberton comes in, and she's going to make the catch to retire the Lady Pioneers. 1 run on the first collegiate home run for Kirsten Smith. A solo shot leading off the inning. There's 2 hits in the inning. No errors, 1 runner left aboard. 3-0, VolState leads. Top of the third we go. Mia Harper finishing her warm-up tosses. A little Lion Sleeps Tonight. The Tokens singing here for the folks in attendance. Another plate to spin. Just an entertainer, folks. That's all I want to do. Make people happy. Top of the lineup, Giselle Tankersley was at the plate when Sloan Watson was picked off. She'll lead off the third. Swings at the first pitch, it fouls. Or goes backwards. Umpire got out of the way of it like it was on fire. Make a play, Hunter. Going backwards. It's not going to then turn around and go forward and be a fair ball. Off-speed pitch swung over the top by Tankersley. She's 1 for 4 on the day. Had an infield single in 3 trips to the plate in game 1. A 10-1 victory for VolState. Courtney Denrider with the 4-inning win. Went to 7-2 on the season. Sierra Howard saddled with a loss, and I don't have her record. It's not accurately displayed in the TCCAA website. Harper delivers right back to her. 1 hopper. She'll underhand to Maddie Goad. Pitcher retiring pitcher for out number 1. Pitcher's not used to throwing overhand all that often, so you'll see that from softball pitchers when their throws to first base. Now, I don't think they'd do that if they were going to go to second base. You don't want to throw a sinker out there to somebody. Alon Pemberton struck out but reached base on a wild pitch. First time she came to the plate. Alon 0 for 3 on the day. It's spelled M-I-L-A-N. That is the way you would pronounce a girl's name, Milan. That's not Milan. That's the name of a town in West Tennessee. Harper missed with the first two offerings to the left-handed hitting center fielder. From Jasper, Tennessee, Marion County High School, 3-0. At the letters for a called strike. Three balls and a strike, one out, nobody on, top of the third. Tapper, that's going to go foul. Shinton will glove, but Pemberton gets a leg stretch running down to first base. She'll come back for a full count. Ministries full count. Caitlin Dillard's in the left. She's playing shallow and shaded toward the line. Abby Merle also playing shallow and shaded to the left side. Kirsten Smith in right. Out a couple steps in from regular depth. Ground ball to Hopper to Grizzle. She gloves and a quick throw to Maddie Goad. It retires Pemberton. First two retired on groundouts. Bring up the three-hole hitter, number 44, the DP, Lily Griffiths. Struck out in the first. Looking for her first hit of the game. Takes a called strike right down the can. Griffiths from Von Orr, Tennessee. I don't know where that is. Sequoia High School. I'm going to guess it's over there by Chattanooga. Swing and a miss. Down in the southeast portion of the long state of Tennessee. Could be in the northeast. I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. 0-2 catches the inside corner. Harper gets her a strikeout. That's her fifth of the game. A 1-2-3 frame for Mia Harper. VolState coming to the plate. Four, 5, and 6 due up here for VolState. Got an email from Sean Grizzle, Mally's dad. I assume he is grinding away at work. He's looking for game times around 6 p.m. First pitch swinging, Shinton pops this one up. Catcher and third baseman, neither can come in to make that. That is one of the harder plays in baseball or softball, a pop-up straight over the head of the catcher. As Blanson, we used to call it the dancing bear look right there. You have no idea where that ball's going to land. Shinton 0-1 count. And a Chick-fil-A of Gallatin foul ball gets out of play. Shinton down in the count 0-2, but the Toyota Gallatin scoreboard for some reason shows 1 ball and 1 strike. Apparently they think if pop-up wasn't caught, it's a ball. Tankersley delivers. That ball's hit high and deep to left field. It's not going to be held in this ballpark and does not get to the concrete, which is good because that is freshly poured today just to the right of the batting cage or shed out there as Maddie Shinton picks up the solo home run on the 0-2. That is her 20th. It is 20th. She is second in the conference behind her name, Haley Uberoth for Chattanooga State. Let's see if I can get to that. Hallie Uberoth. As Anaya Dawson looks at a called strike. So Shinton's got a double and a home run. She hit that one high. It didn't go quite as far as I was thinking it would. 200-foot fence here at Nichols Softball Complex. VolState has now scored again in every inning in this game. They scored in the first 3 in game 1. Did not score in the 4th inning and didn't bat any more than 4 innings. The lead here 4-0. It's lined right to Sloan Watson, who just threw her glove out, and the ball found it. That was extra. That's a triple right there for Anaya Dawson if Sloan Watson doesn't catch that ball. Put a star by that one. Maybe an unintended web gem there for Sloan Watson, but nice catch anyway. Alyssa Dixon tries to bunt, and she bunts it foul. That's out number 2. Didn't get it down after the solo home run by Maddie Shinton. 2 quick outs. Brings KJ Irwin to the plate. She swings at the first pitch and delivers a Chick-fil-A at Gallatin foul ball. As the sun has gone behind the clouds, and it makes it look like we're playing in the dark here on my camera. Sean asked a question about Mally's home run status. She has 5 as Irwin gets plunked. First hit batter of the day. She's well down. She's around in the 21 mark, Sean. With that 5th, she joins about 4 or 5 other ladies in the 21 place. On the board with a home run, though, is Kirsten Smith. She hit her first in her last at-bat. Went out to right center field, or just a little bit right of dead center, actually. It's 200 foot all the way around, so it's not like it's deeper in center than it is down the lines. That's what I've been told, not that I've measured. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Smith goes out of the strike zone to take a hack there. Hallie Uberoth comes into today with 23 home runs. Have no idea what she's did or is doing. There's a ground ball. It's backhanded and flipped. Nice play. Another web gem as Howard with a backhand grab and the glove flip to Johnson to retire Irwin at second base. 1 run, 1 hit, the big fly by Matty Shinton. No errors, 1 runner left on base. After 3, VolState leads 4-0. Tim Reese back on the VolState Sports Network. Moved to the top of the 4th. Jayla Young, Miley Howard, Ella Blancett set to face Mia Harper here on the campus of Volunteer State Community College. Game number 2, VolState won game 1 10-1. Jayla Young walked her first plate appearance. Takes a pitch high. Young from Knoxville, Tennessee, Knox Central High School. Harper having trouble throwing a strike to Jayla Young. 3 balls and no strikes. Young, 5'5". It's not like she's 5 foot tall. And that's ball 4. It's high. 4-pitch walk. Puts the leadoff batter on base. 3 walks in the game for Harper, as there is action in the VolState bullpen. Caitlin Davis looks like she's getting loose. Just not full pitching down there. She's just kind of flipping as Howard takes a called strike. Check swing, called strike. Harper, 5 strikeouts in the game. Irwin thought about delivering another throw down to first base, but it's a bluff. Miley Howard, 5'7" freshman from Rossville, Georgia. Reached on a fielder's choice. Her check swing is not held, and that's another strikeout for Mia Harper. Mama Mia, not Maya Harper. Young stays put at first. Ella Blancett flew out to right field. Looks at a called strike. Blancett looking for her first hit. Cleveland State only 3 hits in game 1. 1 run. Have a 1 hit here in game 2. And One out double by Heidi Johnson in the second. Cleveland State finishes their season at Walter State on Saturday. Not sure if they've got any rain forecasted up there in East Tennessee. This could be two. Grizzle Gloves steps on the bag and throws to first for a do-dat double play. Just what the doctor ordered for Mia Harper to end the inning. 6-3 double play. You don't see a lot of double plays in college softball. There's a 6 unassisted to retire Young, and then throw to the third or the first. Ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Heading to the bottom of the fourth. VolState looking for some more action. VolState trying to get the doubleheader victory against Cleveland State today. Like Giselle Tankersley, who's still in the circle, wasn't finished with her warm-up tosses. She was expecting the throwback. Looked to me like from Ella Blancett. Caitlin Dillard, Abby Merle, and Mally Grizzle scheduled here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Dillard walked but was caught stealing. It's not a felony, just a misdemeanor. Takes a called strike. Only the 9th time that VolState's been caught stealing. Over 180 attempts. Dillard now down in the count 0-2. Only the 3rd time that Caitlin's been nabbed. She had a stolen base in game 1 of the doubleheader. Needs to get on a sack here. Should have pitched down. Third baseman Jayla Young hugging the third base line, and that one's lined just to her left. The ball gets by and rolls all the way to the fence in right field. Dillard's going to cruise into third base. It's going to be a single and a 2-base throwing error on Savannah Bennett, the right fielder. And on my score sheet, that's the first error. There could have been one other one. Merle looks at pitch high and away. Bit of a bobble by Pemberton, I think, in game 1, but ended up giving the RBI. Again, I am not the official scorer. That was sliced off the top of the netting that's in front of the VolState dugout. But I like to think that I have an idea on scorekeeping. I sit all summer long with a guy who actually is an official scorer, and he knows a lot about it during my full count rhythm broadcasts, one of my hobbies. Scoring games. 2-1 pitch is bunted right in front of the plate. Dillard is going to stay put at third, and that is very advisable. The only play that Young would have had would be to get Dillard. If she had snuck off a little farther, that's a bunt single for Merle. She's 2 for 3. And runners are at the corners. That won't be long. Grizzle at the plate. She's 1 for 2. They're just going to take a pitch, I would assume. Grizzle takes and no throw. Merle gets into second base, standing and called strike. Back-to-back hits by Dillard and Merle have runners at second and third. Grizzle backs away from the inside pitch. Mally, a former Liberty Creek Wolf. That's where my grandchildren from my son attend and will attend. Little Eli Reese finishing up kindergarten at Liberty Creek. So Grizzle leaves and Reese shows up. They've got a really good softball team too. Their baseball team's pretty good as well. 1-2, misses, gets by, and here comes Dillard sliding in on the wild pitch. She scores, takes an RBI away from Grizzle. And VolState leads 5-0. Merle moves down to third base as well on the wild pitch. Right now, that's an unearned run due to the error by the left fielder. As I look up and see Savannah Bennett is hugging the left field line for Grizzle. Huge area out in left center field. And a full count. Ministries full count. Good-looking player right here. Another freshman for the Lady Pioneers, Mally Grizzle. She can run, she can hit, she can field. That's well struck out to center field. Milan Pemberton looks up, and there's another long ball for Mally Grizzle. She is on fire. Triple and a 2-run home run as they beat her dome. VolState, I've got 7. I need to get another run up on that scoreboard. Her 6th of the year. Out to center field. Scores Merle. It would have been a 3-run homer if Dillard had stayed at third instead of come home on that wild pitch. But that's the right play. I'm not saying she didn't do what she's supposed to do. Absolutely need to be aggressive. Score runs when you can. VolState now leads by a touchdown, 7-0. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th, and that will cause a visit from head coach Haley Carroll. See if I can get a little music playing here for the folks during the visit. Might have a new pitcher coming in. They're looking around. Who wants to come and face Maddie Goad? Apparently it's going to be Giselle Tankersley who's going to stay in the game. Nobody out, 3 runs in. Already one more run will make us a mercy rule game. Goad looking for her first hit here in game 2. 0 for 1 with a sac fly. A couple of fly outs to center field. Goad 1 for 3 in game 1 with a couple of RBIs. Let's see if they can go back-to-back on the home runs. There's not going to happen. Ground ball, 2-hopper over to Johnson. He throws Goad out at first base for out number 1. Yeah, Heidi Johnson's played a good shortstop today for Cleveland State. She looks smooth. Now Maddie Shinton, a double, a run scored in the first, and a solo home run leading off the third. That was her 20th of the year. Now 2 balls and a strike, or 2 balls and no strikes. Shinton reminds me a lot of Lydia Kirby, who was here the last 2 years. Young lady from South Kentucky. Kirby had 13 home runs a year ago. There's a ground ball to Johnson, and just as I sing her praise, she commits an error on a ground ball to allow Shinton to reach. Shinton takes a hack at the 3-0 pitch. And Maddie will be lifted for a pinch runner. Savannah White. Nia Dawson stands at the plate. Walk and a line out. Wink at the outside corner, called strike. Runner takes off, throw down. No tags. Savannah White picks up the stolen base. And the Mercy Rules run is in scoring position with 1 out. Dawson, a left-handed hitter, hits one high out to right field. Perry is back, and that's going to leave the yard off the back screen. Ania Dawson with a 2-run shot. Gives VolState that Mercy Rule advantage 9-0. Dawson's first hit of the game. It is her 11th long ball. And now we will have a change in the circle. We'll take a break. Tell you about the new pitcher when we return on the VolState Sports Network. VolState leads 9-0. New pitcher on is Reagan Frakes to face Alyssa Dixon. First pitch misses. Frakes in for Tankersley. Dixon with a base hit right up the middle. She picks up her second knock of the game. I'll bring up a pinch hitter. Kendra McNeil will get an at-bat for KJ Irwin. 1 out, 1 on, 5 in for VolState. Changeup misses. Base hit for McNeil. She goes the opposite way. Running on the play was Dixon, but she'll stay at second. Kendra McNeil, 5'8" sophomore from Nolensville High School. Jason and Paula McNeil, her parents. Trent, her brother. Grandpa and Grandma in Valmeyer, Illinois. Grandma in Anna, Illinois. As Jordan Lucas will come to the plate to hit for Kirsten Smith. One out, 2 on. VolState trying to add on. Lucas takes a little bit high. Jordan pitched an inning in game 1, getting an at-bat. Here in game 2, grounds 1 foul. 5'11", sophomore from New York, Fredonia, New York. Kevin and Dana Lucas, her parents. Sister to Kelly. A couple of sets of grandparents in New York. Grandpa and Grandma and Papa and Nana. And the changeup held on to a little bit too long. Lucas hitting .406 in limited at-bats. Has 13 hits and 32 official plate appearances. 2 doubles, a triple. Looking for her first big fly of the year. That one's bowled in there in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike. Kirsten Smith got her first. Let's see if Jordan Lucas could get her first as a Lady Pioneer. She's not going to get an opportunity. Ball 4. And VolState has batted around. Now Haley Deering will step in for Caitlin Dillard. The Beach High School product. With the bases loaded. Deering's got a couple long balls, 7 RBIs. Playing in her 26th game of the year, 5'9" freshman from Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Ground ball to short, and that's booted again by Johnson. 2 runs are going to come in to score. That's just what she needed, the broadcaster jinx. There's an RBI. Will be picked up by Deering. 2 more runs come in on the error. And top of the lineup, Abby Merle stands in. It's that sharp ground ball that gets into left center field. 1 run will score as the ball goes all the way to the wall. It's off the High Point Health Ascension St. Thomas, and Haley Deering just ran through a stop sign and scored. Give Merle 2 RBIs on the double. And the Lady Pioneers have broken this one open. Allie Grizzle at the plate. Reagan Frakes has been met rudely by the Lady Pioneers hitters. Frank's 5'10" freshman from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, went to Lawrence County High School. 9 runs in the inning. That's lined over Abby Merle's head at second base. She'll stop at third. Grizzle with a smoke shot into center field. She's got a single, triple, and a home run. She's a double away from the cycle. Won't get another at-bat, I wouldn't expect. Pinch hitter Willow Carden to hit for Maddie Goad. Carden is betrothed. She is getting married, I believe, in July. She's a sophomore. Had a stretch when Mally Grizzle was out, but she was playing shortstop, and I don't think I got to broadcast any of those games, but I kept looking at the box scores, and Willow Carden was killing it. Pitch called a strike, and Grizzle takes second base. Two runners in scoring position. Popped up. Let's see if that'll get out of play. It will. Into the stands. Everybody okay down there? Nobody made a play. I heard it hit aluminum. Still only one out. Carden. That was close right there. Willow took a close pitch. 5'9" sophomore from Coffee County Central High School. Manchester, Tennessee, the daughter of Billy Bob and Rachel Carden. Ground ball and caught by the third baseman, Young, and she ends up tagging out Merle for out number 2. So Carden reaches on the fielder's choice. Merle is out 5 unassisted. Pitch called a strike. Ball gets away from the catcher, and down to second base goes Carden, but Grizzle stays at third. I believe this is still, let's see if this is, in fact, it is Savannah White, who lines out to the first baseman, Sloan Watson, to end the inning. Long inning for VolState. They score 9 and lead 13-0, going now to what could be the final inning. We'll be right back with the top of the 5th. You're listening to the VolState Sports Network. New pitcher on for the Lady Pioneers, Cheris Nichols, a sophomore from Clarksville, Tennessee. Clarksville Wildcats. A ton of innings a year ago, not as many this year. Cheris on for her 14th appearance of the year. 5'5" sophomore, daughter of Curtis and Malay Nichols, sister to Emberly and Lovella. Pawpaw and Ganty in Clarksville. Papaw and Nana in Henderson, Kentucky. As trying to see who's Willow Card's a new first baseman. And Kendra McNeil still or is now wearing the protective gear behind the plate. Cheris to face Heidi Johnson leading off the fifth. She takes a healthy hack, comes up empty. Johnson doubled into right center field. It's the only hit of the game for Cleveland State. They have 3 outs to work with as that one's fouled off. Nichols. See when she last pitched. I believe I was here. I believe it was in the Southwest Tennessee series. Cheris hitting .500 if she gets to the plate, but 1 for 2. Doesn't get to the plate very often. Ground ball to third. Shinton up and over to Carden for out number 1. Maddie Shinton, Mally Grizzle, Alyssa Dixon, and now Willow Carden in the infield. Sloan Watson comes to the plate. It was against Southwest. She threw the last inning. Gave up a hit and no runs. She's got a lot of spin and a herky-jerky motion that throws off batters. It's lifted out to right center field. Merle gets over and takes an extra base hit away from Watson. And Cleveland State down to their final out. Last year, Cheris Nichols had the most appearances on the squad, 36. She started 15 games, 110 innings pitched, 3.42 ERA. She won 14 games in 16 decisions. First pitch swinging, Savannah Bennett pops this one up to Alyssa Dixon, and this one belongs to the Lady Pioneers as Cheris Nichols makes quick work of Cleveland State in the fifth. VolState gets another mercy rule victory as they win this one 13-0 after the 10-1 win in game one. Again, these were not conference games. They were non-conference, even though it's within the conference. But VolState will be back in action on Sunday, and that will be to see if they can retain their first place position, which they're in all alone. Understand Chattanooga State lost to Roane State in game one of their doubleheader today. That gave Chattanooga State the 4th loss of the year, and positioning is apparently by the number of losses that you have. VolState with only 3 as they move to 45-13 overall, the 20th ranked team in the country in Division I. Remain at 25-3 in conference play. Winning pitcher is Mia Harper. She goes to 10-3 on the season. Losing pitcher Giselle Tankersley, and I don't have her record. No save in the game. A game that takes an hour and 32 minutes to complete under mostly sunny skies here in Gallatin, Tennessee. We'll get our Toyota of Gallatin player of the game here right after our verse of the game. Let's check the mailbox again to see if anybody else. Kat Smith checked in. Greg and Kathleen Smith watching from Louisville. The parents of Kirsten Smith. Appreciate the kind comments on the email. I love being here to broadcast these Lady Pioneers. Very, very exciting to see them. Let's get to our Toyota of Gallatin. Nope, we're going to do our Full Count Ministries verse of the game. I didn't pick one out yet. Nobody sent one to me. We'll go out of, so we get to Ephesians. There we go. My wife's favorite verse. Read our Philippians. That's our book that we're reading this week in our Bible study, Philippians 1:6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. And verse Philippians 1:6, brought to you by Full Count Ministries. Appreciate the use of their broadcast equipment along with VolState's equipment here on the VolState Sports Network. Our Toyota Gallatin player, I think we're going to have players of the game. Mally Grizzle, 3 hits, only 1 RBI, scored twice, but she had a single, triple, and a home run. She's going to have to be included in there. Kirsten Smith picks up her first collegiate home run. She goes 1 for 2. Put her in there. Maddie Shinton with a double, a solo home run. She scored 2 runs. We've got a host of people. All of these people are the Toyota Gallatin players of the game. And let's see if I left anybody else out. Abby Merle with 3 hits, 2 singles, and a double. She picked up a couple of RBIs as well. And I don't want to leave Mia Harper out. 4 innings in the circle, 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. She faced 15 batters. She picks up her 10th win of the year. And they are our Toyota Gallatin players of the game. VolState will be back in action on Sunday at noon. So that's noon Central Time to take on Jackson State. Jackson State is currently, I believe they're in 6th place. They are in 6th place with an 11-15 record, but they're not going to be a pushover, but VolState did handle them not too long ago. Let's see if I can get my computer to work for me. A couple of wins down at Jackson State. There it is at the end of March, an 8-0 and a 13-0 win. A couple of mercy rule games there for the Lady Pioneers. And Cleveland State will be at Walter State on Saturday. It'll be a tough draw right there for the Lady Cougars. Tournament starts May 1st at Columbia State. 3 play-in games on that Friday. Then Lady Pioneers will be in action, and they're hoping to be in that number 1 slot this year at Columbia State. They've been behind Chattanooga State for the last couple of years for sure. Well, appreciate all of you joining me and here on the broadcast today. I am anticipating being here Sunday to broadcast the doubleheader to finish out the regular season. They'll be on the air tomorrow for the men's game against Jackson State, and then Friday doubleheader for the Pioneers as they close out their home schedule as well. Sophomore day for the baseball team on Friday and sophomore day for the Lady Pioneers on Sunday. Appreciate all of you that have joined via the email, and it makes things a lot more enjoyable for me to know who's out there and who's interested. So appreciate the emails. And I appreciate Dr. Wendy Tossenson, the president. She's a super fan, apparently too busy today, but I guarantee she'll be here Sunday for sophomore day, along with her husband, Kyle, or Dr. Tossenson and athletic director Bobby Hudson, and assistant athletic director Justin McKinney, and the head coach of the Lady Pioneers, Christian Lynn. This is Tim Reese, saying God bless you. Thank you for watching another exciting edition of VolState Lady Pioneer Softball right here on the VolState Sports Network. Goodbye, everybody.